Okay, welcome in. We are live on this Monday. Some serious talks with Iran. Trump says we are not backing down. Iran turned into North Korea. What the hell is going on and in the Middle East? And whew, is there a message sent from Iran? A message sent to United States of America, ABC? What the hell is going on? We're going to be looking all eyes on Iran in the next couple days, certainly in the next few hours, as Trump has got more um, troops getting closer and ships closer to Iran. Welcome in, everybody, and happy Monday. Hopefully, everybody made it through the weekend. I know there's some snow in Florida. Is that true? And cold temperatures and snow, winter storm. Come on in, settle in here for about an hour or so. Right now, nothing's changed. 47 years. Threats, major threats. Barbara, welcome in all memberships. Thank you, Whiskey Tango, right off the bat, sponsoring today's live. We appreciate the gifts once again to forward them over to the homeless. Hello, Crystal. Thank you. Let me just pin that right there. Appreciate you on this later night live. Now, all eyes on Iran's. Simply, nobody really knows what the hell's going on. A lot of talk. Trump has made this comment from the reporters. I quote, President Trump says, I hope we can work things out with Iran, but if not, we'll do anything possible. And there's even nukes talks. I mean, that's scary, talking about nukes. But he also says bad things will happen. But he's also mentioned this very calmly. I'm a little hyper on it. He said bad things will happen. He says a lot on talking to reporters, and we'll have to see what happens. Now, I've talked to some of the Iranian people here in Las Vegas and the Persian people, and they are able to talk to their loved ones, but he said this has been going on for a very long time. But Trump says, and simply stop killing people. Stop killing the protesters. We don't want it. And I have a feeling, now here's the question I have to the chat. If somehow or another we do attack Iran, will that cause some kind of war? And also, will they attack Israel? And then, Iran right now, folks, are very, very weak. They're running on nothing, but they still have nuclear. We took out their nuclear plant, but we're not really 100% sure as a nation if they got any kind of backup or anything like that. Marco Rubio says we are much stronger than them, and they're thinking very positive. But this could spark regional war into the Middle East. It very well could. So it's a situation now that, on the flip side, by taking out Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. Let me make this clear, folks, and welcome in, everybody. Welcome and come on in. This is not Venezuela. However, they have to be looking and saying, remember Nicolas Maduro says, come and get me? Come and get me. He says, I'm here. Come and get me. Well, we know what happened with that. He's sitting in New York jail, and we got him. We got his wife. And by the way, his wife was worse than him. I'm hearing, man, she had some ribs broken. But anyhow, so this is not the same situation. Iran is a little bit more dangerous, right? We know that. But, once again, we have a president who sent a message by taking out Nicolas Maduro. I mean, well, we stopped poison. We've done a lot of good stuff. We got an oil back, this, that, whatever. However, folks, this could be a serious situation. So all eyes right now. I mean, these things could happen as early as this week. Iran turning into North Korea. Is that what's happening to Iran? Now, this has been going on for 47 years. They have threatened us. Iran has threatened the United States and Israel for 47 years plus. So this is nothing new. A lot of talk back and forth right now. But once again, Iran is sending a message. They're looking at President Trump very closely. They're trying to play the tough guy, and they're saying you're not going to change our regime. And the question I have into the chat this evening, and welcome in, appreciate all the moderators for being here. Thank you so much. Shout out to the moderators. Is this, if we do take out the regime, do we have a plan? Because, you can't just go in, and I've spoken to a lot of Persian people, lots, and they all feel the same. if you take out the regime in Iran, what plan do we have going forward? And who do we trust? A little complicated. I've been saying this before. I've been waiting to talk about this situation with Iran. You know, I don't even think Iran know what the hell they're saying. They just keep repeating themselves. It's almost like they're worn out. And, you know, of course, again, Trump is sending a message. He goes, I hope we can work things out. However, Trump says this. He goes, I have a huge message for them. Something very bad will happen to Iran. Now, we're going to listen in. This is in Fox Business earlier. These are some smart guys. Let's listen in what they have to say, and then we'll go ahead and sit back and discuss. Before going any farther, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, come on in and subscribe. We appreciate it. Let's listen in to Fox Business. This was a few hours ago.
Who's Senior Strategic Analyst, General Jack Keane. General Keane, welcome, sir. You know, what do I know? Okay, I'm just saying you have the biggest armada since the Spanish Armada in the 16th century, ready for regime change, and yet it seems like we may not get regime change, and it just seems like it's repeating all of the mistakes of the past.
Exactly.
I'm not the expert. You're the expert, General Keane, but I'm just saying, really? Make a deal with Iran? Are we sure about that, sir? Really?
Well, I totally agree with the implications of everything you just said, Larry. I think we have a clear historic choice here. Why is that? If we negotiate with Iran, and let's assume we get a good deal, even the no enrichment, which is the essence of a good nuclear deal, therefore they can't produce a nuclear weapon. Let's say we even got further than that.
Listen in, guys.
Ballistic missiles or limited ballistic missiles, and no support for proxies. Those two issues I just mentioned likely are not on the table. Let's assume we even got that far and we have a deal. What does that do? That extends the life of this regime indefinitely for many years and eventually sanction relief. What a betrayal that is to the thousands of demonstrators who gave up their lives to do what? To change the regime. We're not talking about a nuclear deal, but this is much more than the protesters too. This is U.S. national vital interest. And it clearly, the choice is, we can finish the regime with a combined attack, U.S. and Israeli military, a combined sustained campaign to finish this regime off once and for all. And if we get that, we have a major paradigm shift in the Middle East that has not been achieved since the regime came to power. That was 45 plus years ago. They have been destabilizing this region, killing Americans, killing Israelis, and many others in the region. And we take them off the board finally, and we're able to move forward without this destabilizing barbaric regime. The opportunities for the future are enormous, and who will have achieved that? President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu would have achieved that. And without Trump's involvement here, this doesn't happen. I got to believe the president understands this clearly, and he knows it. He's just not saying all of that because likely he doesn't want to flag exactly what he's going to do. But I got to have some confidence here that he's going to take these guys off the board and move towards a stabilized Middle East.
Well, I hope you're right. Okay, I hope you're right, because the point here is another deal with the same regime, nothing's going to change. I don't believe anything they say will come true. You can't trust them. You can't believe them. They never enforce anything. They never let anybody come in, you know, outside investigators take a look at it. I mean, they have no credibility. And behind the Ayatollahs, you have the, whatever it is, the Revolutionary Guard. It's a military state. It's the same crowd. So many American presidents have talked about the elusive Iranian deal, and nothing ever seems to change. Now, Mr. Trump, something has changed. I mean,
we had President Trump, right?
In connection with Israel. That has changed a lot.
Right.
But to me, if you have this armada, flotilla, whatever, I don't know. It seems to me they're there for a reason, and I think the reason is to take out the regime. But I don't know. You're the military expert here. I mean, it just sounds like it. And certainly Trump is certainly different than these other presidents. He is a man of action. I just hope he's willing to take action.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that.
What do you guys, let me ask the chat. Welcome in, everybody. What do we think? I mean, this is a very complex situation. We don't have your regular president. You know, we have a president who has balls, in plain English, and he's already made statements and he's already taken out their nukes. But, you know, this time around, you know, they know what's going on now, right? They know that we have ships there. And, you know, you have to wonder, somebody just said, I believe it was Ardell, welcome in Ardell, made a great comment. You know, where's China sit with this in Russia? And we know what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, and, you know, and you can't trust Putin right now. And I'm not a strong believer in Netanyahu. I never was. You got to keep them happy kind of thing. So this could be very complex. You know, this has been going on for many, many years. But do we have now the right president of the United States taking action and taking out the regime and hoping that we can put in a new regime? And you have to have these plans. If anybody out there or any president has a plan and a backup B, C, and D, I believe it's President Trump. At the same token, we have to be very, very careful on this because, you know, like Ardell said and many others have said previous with China and Russia. What's your thoughts? I mean, this is very serious. Now, if you're just coming in, Trump has spoken to the reporters in his tuxedo and his suits. And he's saying, hey, we could work something out. He said it very calmly, very optimistic. When I say work something out, I believe it's the nuclears, the nukes and this, that, whatever. However, if we don't, bad things will happen. And he keeps saying it over and over. And then you keep hearing this Friday thing. A lot of it's Friday. Now, Trump has done things when he does these, it's usually weekends. I've said this before, when the stock market is closed for the week. So what's your thoughts, guys? I mean, this is a tough situation. Again, I've spoken to a lot of Persian people. A lot of them are just starting to talk to their family. Too many people are dying. I've also heard stories where they're just, you know, if you haven't been there, it's nothing new. They kill women. They kill kids. Certainly the people can't take over the government. A very, very tough situation with the U.S. and President Trump and Iran. And but I have to say, I feel very confident that we do have the right president, because if we didn't have President Trump, who the hell knows what would happen? So, hey, Fabian, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you, moderators, for being here. Appreciate it. Again, all eyes are on Iran right now. And, you know, if the United States, U.S. attacks Iran, say on Friday, for conversation purpose, let me just say this. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think anybody really knows what President Trump's able to do and what, you know, you know, are they playing defense, offense, and kind of in the middle. What will happen? Will it start something in the Middle East? Because they made it clear, the Iran president and the regime, saying, hey, if that happens, I will, with anything, all our power, we will have a war. And it will be very big. And I have a feeling that they will just go right after Israel. They hate Israel. Israel hates Iran. We all know that. Again, this has been going on for 40-some years. You're hearing two smart guys here talk about it here on the Middle East. This has been going on so long. Welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well on this Monday. Crazy stuff happening in the world. You know, we all got locked in with Minneapolis and the fraud and the protests, riots, whatever you want to call them, agitators in Portland. Last night was nuts in Portland. I was going to cover it, but it got real late. But, you know, we got to really keep our eyes on this situation developing, folks, because I think something's going to happen very, very soon in Iran. Now, let me just say this. We're not going to go in and, you know, hurt the people, but the whole thing is taking out the regime and then having a plan, because you can't just do stuff without having a plan. But in my opinion, if anybody has a plan and a backup, I believe it's President Trump, hate or love him. But hey, that's my thoughts. Okay, let me read some comments real quick. Hey, thank you, moderators, for being here tonight. Crystal, Fabian, and Mike. I think Janine popped in. Our best wishes for Lemon J. I believe she is now home and hopefully feeling better. She watches these lives. Thank you for all your support on the homeless. Today, real quickly, if I can just get off the topic for a second, I'm seeing much more homeless now in Las Vegas. Now, some of it's because it's warmer. I don't know, but I also know we're having a major problem here, here in Las Vegas, where the rent is escalating and still people trying. A lot of stuff is happening, but I've seen today the most homeless that I've seen now in about a year, and I'm all boots on ground. Okay, it's not politics. I'm just saying, and these people are really dire straits, living on the streets, because nobody should be living on the streets. And you hope that something can also be resolved. You heard me a little hyper if you haven't seen my short. I'm just so pissed off because you want more from the government on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, to help out homegrown and our people here. We see so much what's going on in the world with Iran and this, that, whatever. And, I'll give you my input in a little bit on Iran, but it's time to really take a deep breath and really, I understand we got to keep peace and our borders closed and all that. I get it. I certainly get 100,000%. And helping out other countries, but at the same time, we got to really time out and help out these struggling people that are living on the streets in Chicago, in Las Vegas, in California, and Oregon, and other parts of the world. And it's time to step up, government officials on both sides. Gosh darn it, and help out our fellow Americans, our veterans who fought for this beautiful country. I'm sick of it, and that's why I was a little hyper today on the short clips, because it breaks my heart, because there's so many out there and there's only a few of us. When I say a few of us, it's just not me, my wife, and you guys. It's churches and other YouTubers and many people doing this. Okay, we're not alone. But gosh darn it, the government needs to step in a little bit more and help these struggling Americans on American soil. I'm sick of it. It's enough is enough. We got to really look at our people here. All right, welcome in everybody. Once again, our topic tonight is all eyes on Iran and nuclear talks. And man, when you're messing around with nukes and that kind of stuff, I mean, that could be it, right? So let's see what happens. Let's listen a little bit more on this Middle East talk on Fox Business earlier and see what these gentlemen have to say, and then we'll discuss a little bit more.
It's true. I mean, yes. Even if we made a deal with the Iranians, just underscore what you just said. We know what they're going to do. They lie.
Yeah.
They cheat. They deceive.
Absolutely.
No enrichment. Okay, that's the deal, right?
We know
With
that.
verification. Well, they're going to go someplace else and begin an enrichment program that's completely deceived from where we're going to check on it. That's just the behavior. We've been with these guys a very, very long time, and we can't trust them at all to any deal. And as I said before, even making a deal with verification extends the life of a regime. Why would we do that when they're at the weakest point they have ever been? No president has had to deal with the Iranian regime this week. This president didn't have to deal with the regime being this weak a year ago. A year ago, maybe a nuclear deal and a ballistic missile deal and no support for proxy made some sense. But it doesn't make a lot of sense now. And the reason is the opportunity, the historic opportunity with this weak regime to finally force its collapse. And that.
Add more years to your life and more life to your years. Join with
Yeah, I mean, both are.
Our flooring comes with a free lifetime installation warranty, so you can rest easy.
Once again, it's a very, very complex situation, folks, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, and, but again, for me, Trump is always playing chess. Whether you support him or not, he is playing chess. He is a businessman. I know some disapproved on that in this live, but he is playing chess. Let's get back to it. We had
Historic significance.
Well, the economy has collapsed. The currency has collapsed. The economy has collapsed. I don't know whether any of the numbers, but the inflation rate is probably about 50%. The unemployment rate is supposed to be about 40%, maybe higher than that. The real is utterly worthless. People can't transact with it. So it's in worse shape. Iran is in worse shape probably than it's been in at least recent memory. So
I agree.
They're very weak. Look, as somebody who supports Mr. Trump, I believe he is aware of all this, and of course he took action a while ago with respect to the B-2 bombers and so forth, and that was very, very, very important. So I'm hoping that he's listening to you and others. This is the moment, this is the moment. I mean, what's in, just last one, General Keith, before I lose you. This armada, as it's called, or flotilla, this is a very powerful force. Have we seen anything like this anywhere else in the world?
Well, actually, when we did the B-2 bombing raid, we had 2 carrier strike groups in the Middle East. So we have 1 now, and we're moving more assets in than what you see right there. Here's the 2 issues. Israel, United States combined operations, to be sure. Both countries need to conduct a military operation. Neither one can accomplish all the goals by themselves, so we have to do it together. But we also have to bring in some additional resources to make certain that the defense for Israel and the defense for our bases is as solid as it can be. And also, because the target list is likely so expansive, we're talking about just about everything in that ecosystem called Iran to take down leaders, the organizations that are supporting repression, from the IRGC down to military forces. We are talking about ballistic missiles, and whatever the recovery program is for nuclear. This is complete decimation is what we are talking about here. That is a large target list, and we need offensive capability to do that. You will see more resources be brought in to accomplish all of that.
Well,
yes.
Well, it may
this
be.
is the right path we're on.
Yes, sir. No, I'm just saying it may be that this back and forth, as the president says, we're negotiating with Iran, etc. I'm just calling it a back and forth, is buying time to pull these resources together.
I agree on that. Buying time.
That's what's going on here. I mean, I just can't believe that President Trump will, make the same mistake that prior presidents have made with Iran. I mean, I may be dead wrong, and I'm not privy to anything. But anyway, I can't believe it. Maybe he needs a little time to pull together all the resources that you're talking about, General. That might be the answer to it. Give you the last word on it.
No, I think we're on a good path here. And as I said, we have never had this historic opportunity to finally, after all of these years, 8 presidents involved with this regime, this president has the opportunity to take them off the board, and with the help of Bibi Netanyahu.
All right, guys. So, what's your thoughts?
Absolutely, Jen.
What's your thoughts? Are we on a good path? Like the panel says, are we on a good path? Yes or no? With Donald Trump, you heard what he said. Other presidents haven't really done a whole lot, made it actually more complicated. Are we on the right track with President Trump? Are we on the right path? Should we go in and take out the regime and stop these people, these protesters? I mean, even before the protesters, it's nothing new. They kill women if their face aren't covered, and what do we do? What do we do? Do we go in and go ahead and attack, or does Trump playing chess, like I said a few minutes ago, and kind of just send these messages to them, and hopefully we can come up with some kind of a short-term deal? I would love to see a long-term deal, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really think the Iranians, no. I think both President Trump, in my opinion, are kind of just, again, it's chess. Both kind of just buying time. But, Iranians and the president, they just keep getting burned out. Just keep repeating. And, when you just keep repeating yourself, you kind of get worn out. And I think that's what I see on Iran. But, I don't trust them. I said this before. I don't trust Israel. It's just my opinion. I think Trump's doing the right thing. You keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. And I'm not saying Israel's our enemy, but if anybody can take care of this, we hope that President Trump, and this is big, guys, because for some reason we do go in just for conversation purpose. Let's just say Friday we go in. And thank you so much for the likes here tonight and the gifts. Certainly appreciate it. Let's just say for conversation purpose, we go in on Friday. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Who the hell knows? But let's just say Friday night, Saturday night, we go in, we take them out, like Maduro. We take out, right? Boom, 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 boom. Take out the regime. Marco Rubio knows exactly where they're at. We take out all of them, right? Nobody gets hurt. We come back. We're on the table. Now what? What do we do now? Who do we trust? Who do we make in the new regime? Will that, anybody on that side that we didn't take out turns on the United States and hits Israel? And now we have a much more broader, complicated situation. Just throwing this all out on the table. Look forward to some of your comments. While I do that, I'm going to have a piece with Donald Trump speaking earlier today on Iran. Let's see what we got here.
Welcome back.
So this was...
Isn't backing down.
All right. I'm going to read some messages and we'll
This
get
when
back.
asked by a reporter.
I'm going to pause this because I think we're going to hear from Donald Trump. Hey, real quick. Appreciate thank you. High five, fist bump, Michael. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all your support. Hey, thank you so much for all these likes on these live streams. We really appreciate it as we came in at 43,000 plus subscribers in the last week or two, breaking out a little bit more than 500,000 views, 400 or 500 likes. What an amazing! It's all about you guys. I could never do without by myself. So thank you so much for all your support and dedication to these live streams. At the end of the day, you know, we can forward a lot of this over to the homeless. Again, fighting for homeless here. If you're new to the channel, that's what we do. We don't ask them if they're Democrats or Republicans, of course. We help them out. But thank you so much for these amazing views and likes, certainly in the last 2 weeks now, covering what's happened in Minneapolis. And now, of course, all eyes on Iran as there's nuclear talks between President Trump and the president of Iran and the regime on this Monday. And the reports that's out there is we're hearing a lot on Friday, this Friday into Saturday. Remember, we got Super Bowl Sunday on Sunday, and Trump knows, you know, that's big. You know, it is. It's just another game, but it's Super Bowl and all eyes people. So, you know, maybe it'll be Friday in and out by Friday night or Saturday morning, or will this continue going for another week, 2 weeks, or maybe never, and Trump just stays out of it? You know, should President Trump just stay out of it? Should we just stay out of it? And I'll give you my thoughts in a little bit. And then we're going to listen into the panel here, and then I think President Trump will talk a little bit here. And once again, Trump has made it clear, he goes very calmly, I hope to work things out with Iran. I really do. But if not, you know, bad things will happen. Bad things will happen to Iran. So, yes, stay out of it. Yes, stay out of it. A couple yeses right off the bat to stay out of it. Stay out of the Iran regime. Don't go in there and try to help out in any matters. What's your thoughts? Free Cuba. It's funny you say that because that's also on the table. That's also on the table too, to go ahead and free Cuba. Speaking of Cuba, I do have a little bit left over of a Cuban cigar. Thank you to my friend, Fernando, my Cuban friend. Got a little bit left of this Cuban cigar. Yeah, that'd be great. I think it's possible. I don't want to get a lot on to Cuba right now. I want to try to stay on Iran, but I think it's possible that we can go in and certainly help out Cuba and make Cuba free. Shout out to Maribel, who's helped moderate in this channel tonight, who does a lot for the homeless as well. So shout out to the moderators once again for being here on this Monday. Did I say Friday? I think I said Monday, but Friday, all talk is, we're hearing talks that go into Iran. Let's see here. I'll read some messages here, and then we're going to go back and listen a little bit more. Let's see. We got Brandon here. All right. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. Be like South Africa. Appreciate your comments, guys. Hey, Richard. Good to see you, Richard. I forgot about just seeing you come in here, Richard. Thank you, Richard, for all your help. Hope you're doing well, Richard, and your family. Venezuela, Greenland, Cuba. I am not saying. Hey, welcome in, Greg. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. Venezuela, Greenland, Cuba. I'm not saying. See what you're. I think I know what you're going with that. But once again, I tell you what. Let's listen in to the panel on Fox. It was about 15 hours ago.
Supreme Leader today said that U.S. attacks could spark a regional war.
Here's our president.
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course he could say that, but we have the biggest powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
Joining me now is former Deputy National Security Advisor and Heritage Foundation Vice President Victoria Coates. Victoria, thank you so much for joining us this morning. As the president shows U.S. military strength coupled with a willingness to talk, where do you foresee all of this going?
Let's see what she says.
Good morning, Carly. Yeah, I think it's going to take more than an ex post to prevent President Trump from taking whatever action he decides is in the interest of the American people. And so we'll see what happens in Turkey this week. Obviously, everyone would prefer diplomacy. This has been on offer for the Iranians for over a year now. They didn't have to have the 12-day war in June, which they lost by every conceivable metric, disastrously for them. And so if they're now in a condition where their economic mismanagement, the disaster that's going on in that country is so severe that they're actually willing to make significant concessions to the United States, particularly on the nuclear file, there's no harm in having a discussion about that.
No, there certainly wouldn't be. But the single most important condition in terms of negotiations for the United States would be for Iran
to
go
nuclear
and give up their nuclear weapons ambitions.
We don't want nuclear.
There are already images.
Scary, the word nuclear,
Iran is already rebuilding those nuclear facilities that were bombed shortly after the 12-day war during Operation Midnight Hammer. So if that's the most important condition for the United States and it's a non-starter for Iran, I mean, does that only leave military action being taken?
Well, it's hard to see a different path. But again, I think we're in a different place than we were in June. I think the Iranians thought when President Trump came back in that he was somehow, so eager to get a deal that he would put up with all of their nonsense, their endless sort of tergiversations. They're trying to play for time, and all the while they were going for a nuclear weapon. That's what he showed them with Midnight Hammer, that was not going to be tolerated. He did very significant damage to that program. As you said, we think they are trying to rebuild. That's something the Israelis are watching very closely. We are as well. If that's the case, and we can get to a verifiable deal that they give that up because they think that their survival is at risk now, then, as I said, that's fine. But at the same time, we now have a president, Carly, who has demonstrated not just through Midnight Hammer, but also through absolute resolve and action against Maduro in Venezuela, that he is willing to use American strength when it is necessary, particularly in a targeted way that changes the conditions on the battlefield. So if the Iranians think they can just kind of string the Trump administration along through these talks in Turkey, I think they're probably going to come to some more grief.
Yeah, and moving from the Middle East to Europe now, I want to ask you about the war in Ukraine, because President Trump negotiated a temporary pause in fighting between Russia and Ukraine because Ukraine is experiencing this extreme cold snap in many.
Again, very complex, ladies and gentlemen, and we got to really. I'm sure Trump is really watching the moves very quickly, and Iran, and also I'm sure he's watching Netanyahu and Israel as well.
We bring in now national security and military analyst Dr. Rebecca Grant. She is also vice president at the Lexington Institute.
Oh, here, hold on. Here's something here. I want to see this. This is what I want to see. This was Pete Hegseth saying options have been. Let's listen in to Pete real quick. I wanted to hear this. Hold on, guys. I don't know. I thought this was. So this was earlier. This was today. February 2nd. This was Pete Hegseth here with the reporters before departing the Space Coast Regional Airport in Florida. I thought he spoke here, but maybe I'm wrong.
pressure now in terms of trying to get
It's hard to hear.
because there's concern over the enrichment program, over the nuclear program. The president's been clear from the beginning, as he was before Midnight Hammer. Iran will not have nuclear weapons capability. And so they can either negotiate on that front, or we have other options. That's why the War Department exists. He doesn't want to go that route. I don't want to go that route. But our job is to be prepared. And so, of course, we are.
So there you go. Pete Hegseth, you know, and that's true. Trump has made it clear to all of us, and more importantly to Iran, that they're not going to have any nukes at all. So remove them. We'll work out something. Leave the people alone. You know. So he's made it clear. Make no mistake, folks. We are much stronger. We have the strongest military out there. But we got to also worry about, like earlier Ardell said, China and Russia. So that's where it gets a little complicated right there. So let's go. Another one bites the dust. Thank you, Crystal. 17 months of membership. Shout out to Crystal, who helps sponsor so many lives and supporting with memberships and does so much for our channel and other channels. So thank you, Crystal, on your dedicated support, and so much from all the moderators on here. You know, guys, I don't want to scare everybody, but we do need to take this serious. Well, I mean, we got to kind of really focus on listening. You know, this could mean a lot on our nation going forward. I mean, most importantly, safety and our future, right? But also, you know, the midterms and everything, because for some reason or another, Trump does go in and things don't work out real well. You know, that can turn everything around, and then you got these radical lefts taking control. Now, Gavin Newsom has made it clear. I mean, he's pretty confident that he's going to be running for president in 26. So, you know, so this is a big deal here on Iran, on how we handle this. So my guess would be this. I said I'd voice my opinion. It's complicated. I would say that Trump's probably going to just do some talking, continue to say things can get messy, this, that, whatever. I think he's talking with Netanyahu in Israel probably almost every day, because they got a little bit better outlook on what's going on than we do, I think, in that region. So I think they'll probably just continue to sit back. But if there's any talks that Iran starts, you know, pointing fingers at the United States and threatening us with some kind of nukes or something like that, or threatening Israel, then I think you're going to have some kind of a, I wouldn't say boots on grounds, but he'll have the ships out there and take care of business like he normally does. And I also think by taking out Maduro and Venezuela, again, I'm comparing Venezuela with Iran, but although Iran's starting to look like North Korea, in my opinion, he still made a statement, thank you, Whiskey Tango, that we will come and get you. We are not scared of anybody. We will come get you. We will take you out. We'll make your life miserable. So we'll have to see on how this all goes. But I got to tell you, it's heating up. It's heating up, folks. A lot of stuff going on in the world right now. You know, we still have these massive riots and protests going on in Portland, and Minnesota's not giving up. A lot going on, and still going on. Can you believe we still have these protests now? Almost a month of protests happening in these states. And I'm watching Antifa. I call them Antifa on these young people on I was watching a stream Friday night. I was going to come on, or maybe I did come on Friday or Saturday, and they had rock and roll music, they were dancing, and they were just terrible stuff, and ICE and F Trump. I mean, very evil people. And it's amazing that we come to this. And then the Grammys last night, once again, the ratings on the Grammys are not the Grammys anymore. They just can't help themselves. They got to throw in the politics, and they say, well, this isn't our land. It was stolen. Meanwhile, they got billion-dollar homes all over the world, over the United States and the world. This is our land. Some of these people say, in Italian, we call it quando mossa, which is all a big show. They don't care. But I don't think the Grammys, just like sports, it's like putting ketchup on Italian sausage. I know some people do. It's just a big mess. They need to stay out of it, get their awards that they deserve, and move on. Say thank you to the Academy. But again, there's so much hate with President Trump. They didn't want President Trump. They didn't think he'd win. They didn't think he'd run for president, let alone win the first time. Should have won the second time. That was stolen. And then won again. So they have no, to go on the stage and repeatedly, ice out, just like the agitators. Breaks my heart. It really is. So I don't watch it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's stolen land, It wasn't our land. It's Mexico's land. It's Venezuela's land, Crazy stuff, Ozzy. Crazy stuff. But once again, if you're just coming in, we got to all eyes on Iran. A lot of talks that could be Friday and Saturday. They bring ships in, and who knows what can happen? Who really knows? All right. Hey, Chris, thanks again for the membership. Let me read Chris's comment here. It's a member. It will be rigged elections on November 22nd. Do you feel... Chris, what I think... And once again, Chris, real quick. Sorry I didn't acknowledge your comments earlier, but so many are coming in. Thank you so much for your membership. I don't think so. I think what they're running on, the Democrats, is hoping that the fraud does not expose much more than it is, hoping that Tim Walz is not arrested, hoping that Gavin Newsom doesn't be brought out. They're running on empty to what you just said, will they steal it? No, I actually think we're going to win. I think when I say we, the American people, will end up keeping the House and the Senate. It might be close, but hey, as long as we win to keep America great again. As Trump says, the election was too big to rig, and I don't think they're going to rig the 2026 midterms. I sure hope not. Thank you, Crystal. Send it to me, AI. Actually, Maribel made me some great, as you send me those great photos, Maribel was cooking me some great burgers tonight. So it was good. I had some, it made me hungry, so I had some hamburgers. Let's see here. Welcome in, Stella. Thank you for your comment. I'm reading it. Yes, everybody's got to go out and vote in those districts and states for the midterms. You can't just sit back and say, oh, it'll be fine. We're going to continue. Trump's going to continue, do whatever he wants for the next 2 years. We're going to win the midterms. No, you must go out and vote. Otherwise, that this radical, whatever hell party you call, they're certainly going to go out and vote. And, if they do and we don't, then we could be in trouble as a complete nation. In my opinion, we can be in some serious trouble because Trump won't be able to get anything else done. Like freeing Cuba. He's trying to move as quickly as he could. But, we just talked here for about 40 minutes on Iran and these protests and everything. And by the way, as far as the protests, Trump says, he goes, hey, they can call us. They know where I'm at. We can help you out. But once again, Tim Walz, he's not going to ask for Trump's help. He's going to play the game. He's going to play the game. I still believe that Tim Walz will have these allegations and fraud. I believe still to this day that he's going to have charges against him, like Don Lemon did. I really do. I believe. And also, Ilhan Omar will also have charges against her, too, and brought back to Somalia, East Africa. I really believe that. I really believe that both of them are going to be... that fraud's been going on for a very long time. Since the 1980s in Minneapolis. And in California. People thought, it just happened during the Palisade fires. And the homeless, Crystal. No. California's been committing fraud all the way back, probably right after Ronald Reagan, was the governor of... so fraud in Minneapolis with Somalis, they came in the 80s, ripping us off. Our taxpaying money. This is nothing new. It's just an independent journalist, Nick Shirley, who had some balls to go expose it, who contacted somebody there and knock and brought it all out there for the media to start bringing out. And that's why we're having these riots and protests, all because of that, because I still believe Tim Walz is all behind that. Absolutely, Ozzy. And last night with the Grammys saying ice out with a little smile, their fake smile, ice out, acting like little kids. Well, what they're doing is what? You know, they're agitating, the agitators, putting more out in the streets in Minneapolis and Portland. So they're doing as much harm as the government. So some of these Hollywood movie stars, like 90% of them, are just as bad. They're just as bad. So, did anybody else watch the Grammys? I don't think I watched more than 10 seconds. But I remember when the Grammys were entertaining. You know, they were fun back in the 80s. You know, even like early 90s. But now the ratings are like, they mess it all up. They do. In my opinion. America is not coming. What is that? American is what? Is not coming back. Jesus is. Hey, welcome in Paylon. I don't think I said hello to Paylon, our loyal subscriber. He could continue to try, Crystal, but, you know, everything's out there. So. But he's definitely sounding like he's going to run for president, Crystal. So he definitely sounds like he's going to run for the president of the United States in 28. It really does. He'll probably be the front runner. Will he win? 0% chance. The Grammys, it is a joke, Whiskey Tango. It's a joke. It became a joke. You know, they do so good. Just be honest. Stick to what they love to do. Accept your award. Say thank you to your producers and get the hell off. But no, they got to carry on and make it political. It's upsetting. Tim Walz is going to run. Oh, you heard he's going to run now? Oh. Is that right, Chris? You don't think he's going to drop out? I mean, I know he says he's going to drop out. Doesn't mean he will. I think he's going to get arrested. Pam Bondi, the DOJ, Kash Patel are not messing around. Allegedly. Because, you know, the stuff see, for me, I would press charges on him saying war with government. For him to make that statement, that's enough there. And then, you know, 2 people losing their lives and, you know, and possibly ICE agents and getting ambushed. I think that's enough right there. But if the fraud, because here's what I think, Chris, and everybody with Tim Walz. I really think, in my opinion, Ilhan Omar is going to throw everything on him. One or the other. Either Tim's going to fight or her. But I think she's going to put all the bullshit on him and come out and say he knew about it. He took some, you know, he took some donations on the fraud. He very well knew about it. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. I really think. Yeah, you know, Ozzy, it's funny you bring that up, and I'm glad you did, actually. I remember when the halftime on the Super Bowl were fantastic. The Who, I mean, not long ago, the Who, and you know, even when Michael Jackson, even now, I don't know what the hell you call the halftimes. And it's a shame. It really is. But once again, you know, they don't like America. They really don't. That's what it comes down to in most cases. Now, Nicki Minaj, she loves Trump. Jeffrey saying Bondi needs to put on ice permanently. Should be arrested. A lot of Mexico in America. Nobody likes America. What do you mean nobody likes America? Why? How come so many people are cheating the system? And you know I'm glad you brought that. Nobody likes it. How come they put up the flags and all, but then they put the Mexico flags up and other country flags up, but they're fighting to be here because they know America is one of the best places to live in the world. I've said this multiple times. A lot of beautiful places to go. Italy, Spain, but there's nothing better to live now with President Trump is the United States of America. So, so is my mom, Chris. May she rest in peace. But Chris, never my opinion, Chris, never let politics interfere with your family or close friends. You know, never, ever. Particularly your mom. I think you said your mom. God bless President Trump. Thank God, and God bless him. Thank God he's still with us. He's still standing tall, and he didn't lose his life on that assassination. And that's another thing. You know, we really need to look into who was really behind. Yes, Chris, never let that ever interfere a relationship with your family or your mom in this case. But yeah, we got to look into who really was behind the assassination. In my opinion, just mine, I wouldn't count out Iran behind that whole assassination. That's just my opinion. I can be totally wrong on it, but I think Iran was definitely behind the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. My opinion, Iran. I don't trust them. I don't trust North Korea. Certainly don't trust Russia. You know, there's not a whole lot of countries I really do trust. So, but Trump does a good job, you know, keeping your enemies close, and even Israel. You know, I don't trust them as well. It's a shit show. Democrat Party, or whatever hell you want to call it, is a shit show. It really is, Ozzy. Crystal's got to be up at about 5:15 a.m. So shout out to get the mini moderator into school. Hey, Crystal, thank you so much, and thank you so much for, was it 17 months of membership? It's not on notice. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great, beautiful night, and get the young one into school, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right, welcome in Frank. Hello, Frank. Mega Ice. Let ICE do their job. They're not going anywhere, folks. And, you know, they think that shutdown's going to hurt. And ICE is not going anywhere. Let me just tell you this right now and share the video. ICE is not going anywhere. You know, and I don't understand, like President Trump said, what is wrong going into the jails and taking out these bad rapists and murderers and drug cartels and get them back? You know, don't believe what CNN's doing. They're not pulling them out of schools. What the hell's wrong with that? What the hell is wrong with going into the prisons and saying, hey, he's got to go, he's got to go, he's got to go, she's got to go. Get rid of him. We don't want him here. Paul, we don't want him here. So I don't understand, what is the big deal? Well, we know what the big deal is. They don't like Trump. That's it. Bottom line. If it was Barack Obama as president doing the same, almost, well, he wouldn't do. If he was doing the same thing and taking the bad guys back, you wouldn't hear a damn thing about it. Not a damn thing about it. I still haven't heard one Democrat make a call to the family members who lost their life from these murders and rapists. Not one have pick up the phone and call the mother and father of the victims that were raped and murdered on American soil. Not one would do it. Has the heart to do it. Because it's a big racketeer. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you as well, my friend. Thanks for coming in and supporting this channel so many times. Appreciate you, Richard. Have a great rest of your night. Sleep well, my friend. Yep, Ozzy. Do you support ICE? Absolutely, I support ICE. No hesitation. I'll treat that as you were really not joking around and you were being serious. But yes. Absolutely, that is true. Who said that, Paul? Absolutely. And what happened? You didn't hear anything about it, right? You didn't hear anything about it. Not one damn thing about it, Paul. But that's you know, again, guys, they're running. They tried the Epstein files. Well, that didn't work, right? It backfired because former President Bill Clinton, they had all the photos with Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. So that didn't work, right? That kind of fell apart. And then they started then they did the investigation with fraud, and then 2 people lost their life. And they're like, oh, you think they really care about those 2 people who lost their life? Absolutely not. They don't care. You don't see them. When I say them, you don't see Tim Walz or Gavin Newsom protesting out there in these cold temperatures in Minneapolis. Not at all. They're running on nothing. They have no, if you're new, They don't have any agenda. They keep saying this is not working, this is not working, ICE is not working, tariffs are not working, the economy fell apart. But what did they ever do to try to improve? I remember at one time, the Democrat Republicans, always had, battles back and forth, but they would debate. And there was times where Bill Clinton years that there were some things that made sense. They really did. Let's be honest. We forget. And made sense. Maybe not perfect sense, Bama. Welcome in, Bama. But made some sense. But now you got no sense and no party. Evil, mob-like, worse than a mob ever on this radical left side, on 90% of them. 90%. Trump loves all, a lot of people don't understand Trump. A lot of people just don't get his body language or who he is, but he loves everybody. He loves everybody so much, he closed the damn border. Closed the border. It was common sense. Over and over, I say common sense. Yes, absolutely praying for Lemon J. Lemon J is getting better. Lemon J is feeling better. Hope to see Lemon J on the live stream soon as she is feeling a lot better and to participate, but is feeling bad. I checked on Lemon J a couple days ago and is making comments on some of the shorts in these lives afterwards, so thank you. I'm falling for propaganda. Thank you for your comment. I absolutely disagree. What propaganda? The propaganda is what the Democrats are trying to, aren't you listening? They're running on complete empty, and they're going to continue talking nonsense. Yeah, I love this. One of my favorite hats right here. So, it really is. Thank God we had the biggest and strongest military out there on the planet. Whatever happens with Iran, I'm not too worried. I'm worried about what can happen down the road, but, sometimes we got to make those decisions for the present time and hope all goes well with Iran. No, I'm not going to talk about the Epstein files. We talked about the Epstein files over and over and over. I would just say this. Those women need justice. Will they ever find out the complete truth? Who knows? But yeah, we talked about it too many times on here. Hey, Kai Rock, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you for that membership. Appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely, Kai Rock. Always good to see you. Always good to see my loyal subscribers, new subscribers, memberships, and moderators once again on this Monday evening. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. And, that major snowstorm hitting, even snowfall in Florida. Florida, as far as Tampa, I was watching. I couldn't believe my eyes. But Al Gore would say, I was right. Climate change, global warming, it's here. The world's coming on end. Ice ages, Maribel. Ice ages are coming. Nope, weather just changes. Kind of repeats itself. What we got over here? Yeah, I got some allergies tonight. Sorry, guys. Whew. Getting hit with some allergies here. Welcome in. Somebody says I'm a Democrat. Welcome in. We welcome in all. Appreciate everybody being on here. Global warning. Al Gore. Remember him? Where the hell's he at? Yeah, terrible allergies. Whew. Crazy weather here in Las Vegas, by the way. I think it was like close to 80 degrees on this, what is it, February 2nd? Can you believe it's February 2nd? So, Mike, any snow in Florida? Did you see any flow in your, any snow in your neck of the woods? Heat wave in Bama. Heat wave in Bama. It's crazy. Crazy weather. Crazy. Hey, Chris, thanks for putting that photo on there. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah. May she rest in peace, my mom. Yes, she was a Democrat as well, Chris. Like it was your mom or your dad? Your mom. Or your, crazy warm weather here in Las Vegas. Now, once again, guys, we're taking a very close look on situation in Iran. We listened in a little while ago to the panel, and Iran leaders vow strong blow if U.S.
Switch to TurboTax.
messes with them.
File your own taxes free in the
Like,
app if you
they're
didn't
running
file
on
yours
empty
last
too.
year.
They're like the
Get started
Democrats.
with
The only
TurboTax
thing
and
is,
do it yourself by
we don't
February
trust
28th.
on what the hell they have. Could they have any more nukes out there? We don't
In the
know.
meantime, you got President Trump striking a positive tone on the chances of a deal with Iran.
So the Iran leader vows strong blow if U.S. launches an attack to our country. And you know what, Trump's got a nice cigar in his mouth saying, all right, you want us to come and get you? We'll come and get you. You see what happened to Maduro and his wife. Huh? Took them out. Won't see them no more. They ain't attacking shit. Welcome in, everybody. Very complex situation right now. All eyes are really on the situation. Some would think it's going to happen as early as this Friday and this weekend. Some are saying next week. Some reports, and who the hell knows? It might not happen. All right, I'm going to get in. This is the time I'll get in some comments if they make some kind of sense. If they make some kind of sense, I'll read some of them. Hey, what's going on in Australia? God bless Australia. Beautiful Australia. What's the situation in Australia? Do they love our president? They love our president in Australia? Yes or no? Kamala in 28. Who agrees with that comment? Kamala coming back in 28. What's your thoughts? Australia sucks. Somebody says, Kamala in 28? Does she have a shot? Or is she just all smiles and don't know what the hell she having? Maribel says, no, with a bunch of O's. No. No way. No way. I think Kamala's finished forever. When I say finish, I hope she's having a fine life. But I mean, in the politic world, she's made it clear she don't love America. She turned her back on her own party, Americans. I would say she has a 0.0%. I would say AOC has a better chance than Kamala Harris. And Michael Obama probably has a better chance. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle. I apologize, Michelle. Yeah, I think she's finished. I mean, think about it. She was finished before these allegations with Tim Walz, right? All laugh and goofy and didn't know. I mean, come on, folks. But now with all these allegations let's think about it. She was picking her running mate, vice president, was going to be Tim Walz. Did we forget? Let me remind everybody, he could have been the vice president of the United States and maybe win a presidency. What a goofball he is. War crime. I mean, the stuff he says. J.D. Vance, I would probably say J.D. Vance on the two choices you put on there. I would say J.D. Vance. DeSantis is a good governor, though. I don't know if he's a little wishy-washy. The governor of Florida, DeSantis, he just doesn't do much for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm conservative. I would vote for him. But to ask out of those two names, I would probably go with J.D. Vance. Not probably, would go with J.D. Vance on that comment. So, but thank you for the comment. Appreciate it. Yeah. Godfather Trump in the house. Love it. Love it. I think my next thumbnail will dress Trump up with the Godfather, with the tuxedo and the hat and a cigar. He is like, I always said, he's like an Italian mob boss, you know, fighting, has balls. We got here, at least JD is not in the files. Go ICE. Yeah, ICE is not going where, folks. Nowhere. If you're just coming in, ICE is out stronger now than ever. Okay? Stronger now than ever. High five, fist bump right back to you, my friend Chris. Absolutely. You know, and I'm hearing some of these live streams, and they do a great job. The YouTube live streams, and they do an outstanding job. And they're young, some of them. Doesn't mean they don't do a good job, but they'll say, well, they're waking up the ICE agents in the hotel. You know, I'm like, they're not waking them up. They're sleeping good. You know, they're fine. ICE is stronger now than ever. And will continue, President Trump, will continue to put more ICE agents if they need to take these bad guys out of the prison that most people don't understand. It's just common sense, you know. Actually, it helps. See, here's how stupid. Here's how very stupid the Democrats are. Tim Walz knows this too, but he's just an asshole. By doing this, well, keep it safer. So the business people, the Democrats and Republicans, whoever the hell they are, can run a business safer. Not to worry about these illegal aliens coming over. We got to worry about our homegrown. I keep on saying it, folks. We got mental illness and problems here in the United States. Why do we have to worry about El Salvador, China, Mexico? Not in that order. Why? Iran, all these people that can't, these illegal aliens, I'm going to call. What is the problem going into the jail and getting rid of them? You know? Doesn't make any sense to me. And they keep talking about the 5-year-old boy. The 5-year-old boy's fine. He's back together with his family. They fed that boy. The Democrats are so weak that they'll just keep talking about the 5-year-old young boy, That's all they have, you know. He's doing fine. Nothing happened to him. Again, if you're just coming in, all eyes on Iran. Appreciate your donation. Thank you. We've got MAGA. Make Australia great again. Absolutely. Hey, you know, and thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. By Trump as president, and hopefully we win the midterms, he can continue another successful 2 more years. Makes Australia better, Canada better, the whole world. Europe does better. They know that. Look at Italy Prime Minister. She's another badass. Right? They all know. They know we're in a much better situation. All of them. Germany, the banks in Germany are doing better since Trump's been president. They all know. You know? They know that Trump's a mob boss. Palin. They know he's a serious individual. They know he's a leader. He stands tall. They know he has more energy than a 50-year-old has, you know? And again, he's always playing chess, as Ozzy would said months ago, and a lot of other people have said. He's on the chessboard. Now, is President Trump perfect? Absolutely not. But a hell of a lot better than a unorganized mob, worse than that, party that you're seeing right now. And this Chuck Schumer, man, he has to go. 40, 50 years. Get the hell out of there. Get these old people that are old, out of there. You know, gone. I've said this before. I'm not even close of a Bernie Sanders. I would never vote for him, but stay with me. One thing I got to say about old man Bernie, at least he believed in his own bullshit. Think about it. You know what I mean by that? You know, at least he's got some energy in him. Right? I will say that about old man Bernie Sanders. Socialist. You know, I say it as it is. But the rest of them, there's no energy. Not at all. Gavin Newsom tries to act like he has energy. He's a tough guy. Gavin Newsom, you can't be tough. Your state's next. Trust me. Minnesota was the test on fraud. He's next. He's got to go too. Yeah, Kennedy has a good position, but not for president. I'm not putting words. Yes, I like where he's good. I got some Diet Coke. Should I get it? Somebody said something about Coca-Cola for YouTube. No Kennedy for no. His position is fine. What Trump gave him, for the health but that's about it. I believe after that, Kennedy will be pretty much gone too. Homeless everywhere, absolutely. Homeless. I got to tell you guys, I was a little disappointed today. We take care of the homeless, and when I was driving the streets in Las Vegas, and I seen so many people with their, it's just sitting there on the street, some with tents, just looking pale and sad and alone. It's so horrible. Once again, if you're new to the channel, we try to help out the homeless when we can on here. So sad. So many more dire straits. And we got to continue to love America and our American people. We need to give them the SNAP benefits for a short period of time or a longer period of time, and Medicaid assistance and that kind of stuff for people who really need it. There's people who had some bad luck and who are going through illness. Not Somalians who are cheating the system. Not Mexico. The Mexicos who come here legally, yes, right? Those people who are struggling. But yeah, so sad. So many people that are out on the streets, hopeless. People like 82 years old, like Sherry, and as young as 22 years old. Let me make it clear. There's a lot of people who want to be out there too, but we need to work on that too. Mental illness. They did what on purpose? Sorry, Linda, I didn't understand. You mean the homeless? Not sure what you mean, but thank you for your comment. Oh, we got to do much more for Americans, homegrown. Yeah, we got to, it has to be resolved. I mean, let's just be honest. We're not going to be able to help out 100%, but we need to do, I've always said, and Trump did talk about this, and I will hold him to it, because I do that. And for those, oh, yeah, right, you haven't called Trump out. I've called President. Just because I voted for him 3 times, but we got to do much more. But, he's got so much going on. But we got to remember our veterans and our homeless people. We got to have doctors, psychiatrists. We got to do more. We can't just let it go. And just moving them from one part of town to the other part of town, that doesn't do anything, right? We got to have more people. We got to have more organization, more nonprofits. We got to put a roof over their head and help out those who really want help, And then the ones that are out there dangerous, we got to, we got to do more for them. And if they're really dangerous, get them behind bars too. But I haven't had one homeless person actually not threaten me, but was just unhappy. But 98% of them all just want a friend, and something to eat. I think that cigar had enough. It was a good Cuban cigar. Welcome in, Amber. Welcome in, everybody. Files have been released, which they were never released with the Democrats. They had 4 years to release the files. Enough with the Epstein files. Enough is enough. They're out there. And I know what you're alluding to. President Trump's involved. Not at all. Absolutely 0% proof of him or any former alive president. And that's including the worst president ever, Barack Obama and Biden, were on Epstein Island. So enough with the files. Now, will we ever find out if there was anybody in politics as far as a senator or governor or movie stars or any of these Grammy winners? Possible. Hey, thank you so much. How many likes we have? 115 likes. Hey, appreciate all the likes on this live stream. Thank you so much for a Monday. Appreciate each and every one of you. Good to see everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Recover from the snow. Crazy amount of snow in North Carolina. Holy shit. I mean, see some fun. It was nice to see, though, some of the college students. We see majority of young people protesting, rioters, agitators, whatever you want to call them. It was nice to see them playing in the snow, acting like a 20-year-old, 18-year-old, 20. Just this time out from what the hell's going on in this world that's so bad. Taking the time off school on a Monday and yesterday, enjoying the snowfall, it was nice to see, at least in my eyes. It was nice to see. Crazy, though, that snow made it all the way to Florida, even if it was just about a quarter inch or a dusting. Is kind of crazy. But that is weather. You get a cold front in, boom, you get some snow. I heard that North Carolina didn't even have snow plows. They didn't even have snow plows, and they ran out of salt. It's crazy. But hopefully everybody's doing well and enjoying your rest of your Monday. Can you believe we're February 2nd, 12 days away from Valentine's? It's like it goes so quick. Christmas, boom. Trump was president, Christmas. Now we're talking midterms already, and we got this situation developing. Well, developing is getting closer and closer with Iran and all those people. I've spoken to a Persian, another Persian guy today, young man, in his 30s, and he said, it was nice to hear from his mom and dad, and a lot of the Iranians, man, they're smart people, man. A lot of business owners, Trump supporters, and it's a terrible situation what's going on. A lot of people have lost their life most recently in those protests. With the Iran and the regime. A horrible situation going on there. Very sad to see. Very, very sad. But again, we have Trump as president. Hopefully we'll resolve that. Whiskey Tango, thank you so much for the rose. Thank you. Thank you. All right. MAGA be ready for the big loser. What the hell was that? Just ignore some of the spam on here. People are, there's so many people out there that are just probably don't belong on here, about 8 years old, or they're 60 years old and act like they're 8 years old. And then you just have the other spammers and trolls that hate President Trump so much, Antifa, and they're going to come on and try to spam and all. Just ignore them. Team MAGA, absolutely, Ember. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you. Welcome in, Den. Appreciate you. Love the heart. Love Trump. We got a lot of MAGA in here. We got some people here who still don't like Trump. But you know what? That's fine. He won. Get over it. He won the majority. He won over Democrats. You know why? If you're new, I've said this like a broken record. He cares about America, and people said, hey, he closed the border. We can't have that. Most Democrats, probably 90% of Democrats I talk to say, well, we don't particularly care for a lot of things Trump is doing, but we love that he closed the border. We love that he has ICE agents continuing to work and sending, these illegal aliens back. We might not agree on terrorists. We might not agree on, certain things, other things he's doing, but he does show a lot of love, and he shows that he cares, and that's why he won on a knockout. First round. If it was a fight, they would have called that fight in 50 seconds. If it was a boxing fight, he won against Kamala in 50 seconds, landslide win. And so you have to get over it. He's the president and will continue to win over and over and over for the next 20 years. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Adam Wilson, thank you for the $5 donation. They released a 5-year-old father. Glad my tax money is being used to move them from Minnesota. Taxes back to New Minnesota. Thought they were getting it rid of criminal interest. Hey, thank you, Adam. Appreciate your comment and your thoughts. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to see that they, cute little boy, not his fault. But here's the thing, though. So when the Democrats, and thank God he's okay, right? But for them to say the boy was treated bad, You know, what do you mean? They gave them food, but just because you have kids, and that goes for people that are Americans, not just illegals. You could be a bad person. And just because you have kids, what do? Slap them on the wrist and say, oh, it's okay. You could stay in America. If you live in America, it's okay. You're not going to go to jail because you stole a car or you did something bad, you know. But CNN and some of these news outlets are saying, oh, well, it's bad. It's sad. What's sad? You know, we got to, we have a bad guy or bad parents or suspicious. We got to go after them. And, they're not just taking these kids and do anything bad. Now, let me just say this for those who are new. I've said this before. Is there bad ICE agents out there? Maybe 1 or 2%? Absolutely. I've said this about law enforcement, judges, lawyers, chefs, on and on. But so many are doing their job and doing it correctly. And by the way, a lot of these ICE agents, they don't tell you, are both sides of the aisle. They're Republican, Democrats, they're gay, they're white, they're black, African American. They're all, but this Antifa, they don't understand it. They just don't get it. Well, they stopped teaching history. They don't even know about history, So what can I say? But once again, I'm thankful that we have a president. He's not perfect, but is loving America, loves American people. He doesn't always say the right things. Sometimes he doesn't explain it in a voice that you might want to hear. Some of you, I like it. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's it's 100 times better than what we just had run by Barack Obama. It was run by Barack Obama and Elizabeth Warren and some others. God bless you, Palon. Hey, thank you. I'm going to read a couple more comments here. Once again, thank you for all the memberships. Trump is old. Trump's old soul. He was in Israel. Oh, I see. Now, I'm not going to talk about the files. I talked about it a little bit briefly already, which I wasn't going to do, and I've talked about it many, many times. Go back, 2 months ago, I've talked about the Epstein files over and over and over. But I get it. You're not alone on that. You're running on hope. You're running on Epstein. Epstein's done. Democrats had nothing else to talk about but the Epstein files. Whoops, sorry. And now it's about the shootings and the riots that are going on. That's all they have. The hope that they can continue this to midterms. And now we have a temporary shutdown that they're utilizing it for ICE and to defund, like they defund the police, let's defund the ICE agents, And that's all they have. The so-called Democrat Party. Who was blackmailed? What are you talking about, Eddie? I lost you on that. They found all those 2020 ballots in Georgia. Yeah, how about that? They cheated. We know about it. Hey, Ardell, have a good night. Sleep well, my friend, and have an awesome rest of your week going into Tuesday. 75 billion for ICE. Pretty cool, Jay. Thank you for the groundhog. It's a big deal. Thank you for the donation. Groundhog Day, Longer winter, shorter winter. Thank you. Appreciate it. You are all ignorant. I don't think everybody's ignorant on here. Come on, be honest with yourself. Appreciate all the donations. Thank you so much. But what are your thoughts, guys? Be honest. Should Trump kind of sit back? If you were President Trump right now, regarding our topic for one last time with Iran, should we just kind of like sit back, watch Israel, and do some of these talks the most they can over the phone? Can we trust Iran? And other presidents have done absolutely nothing. to resolve it? Will Trump go down as one of those other presidents, or will Trump go ahead and pull the trigger, not the trigger itself, but bring in the military and take out whatever they have to take out the regime, and any attacks on America? What would you do if you were president? Would you just sit back a little bit more, keep an eye on it, or kind of go in now while we have the power? Do we go in now while we have the power? I don't know. What's the thoughts? Is it that complicated, or is it me making it more complicated it is, or what do you think? It's all about the money. Always about the money. Always about the money. Isn't it sad? About the money, the money, the money. First, you got to have the money. Then you got to get the power. What movie was that? Hey, for those who are saying hi, hello, welcome in. Appreciate your attendance tonight on this live later night in the East Coast. Not too late in the West Coast, but it is getting there soon for me. First time here. Hey, thank you, Linda. Appreciate you, Linda. Linda Carter. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your comments.
That country's supreme leader, though, keeping tensions on the boil. This tough talk from this weekend.
We are not the initiators and do not want to attack any country, but the Iranian nation will strike a strong blow against
Wonder
anyone
Woman
who attacks and harasses them. Also, Americans should know that if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war.
A regional war.
So now, from the White House, the president shrugging those remarks off. He also pointed out
He doesn't, I don't think he scares the United States of America too much. I don't think he, don't let him scare you. Because we have a great cabinet. Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, of course. Not in that order. And, of course, the one and only President Trump. So they have nothing. They've lost. But you just can't trust them. We don't know, what else they could have. We hope to think that we took out whatever was cooking in that mountain, the nukes. Remember that? Don't forget, not long ago. But we don't know. Could there be something else sitting out there somewhere? You hope they don't, but we just don't know. So, and Trump knows that, So. Secure elections, yeah. We can't have any more fraud. I mean, what happened in Georgia, and just living here in Vegas, if you just want to talk about that just for a minute, what was happening with all those the ballots on a windy day in Vegas. I mean, there was ballots. A neighbor of mine's a mailman. There were ballots all over the streets. It was horrible, that election. It was, but I believe things work out for a reason, because we wouldn't have Trump right now. Think about it. So I believe things kind of work its way out, and thank God that Trump's alive, and he's not brain dead or unalive. So I always believe that things kind of work its way out, and I really believe we're going to win the midterms. I'm not just saying that because I'm positive. I do, because there's nobody that scares me out there. There's not one Democrat that worries me, not one. And if you're new, because I believe there is decent Democrats. Stay with me, my conservative MAGA. There might be some decent Democrat candidates. Don't ask me to name them, because you and I will never hear about them. Because why? Once they come out and talk to Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi, who's on her way out, or other Democrats, if they say one decent thing, well, we like what Trump did with the borders. Guess what? He or she that wants to run for president, they're gone. They'll take them right off their list. They like them to stick together. That's one thing that the Democrat Party's done in the last several years, is they stick together, right? Be honest. So they're out there, but for me, they have no chance for the election until they decide that they do eventually care for Americans, knowing the borders are closed, working on how to make it a better economy. you won't have them win the Senate, the House, let alone the presidency. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. I could be wrong. But I think it's going to take a while. And AOC or Gavin Newsom or Booker or any of these other candidates or names out there. I mean, Josh Shapiro, I would not vote for him, but he has no chance. And not because he's Jewish, just because he'll say things like, I've heard him come out and say this and that he kind of liked what Trump was doing, and he's gone, So anyhow, but anything can happen. That's why you must vote November 3rd, 26 in your district, in your state. Can't just say, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, you got to vote. A lot of Democrats in leadership is over trafficking. Appreciate your comments, guys. Some interesting, making me think comments. So thank you. Thank you all. Candace, oh man, don't even get me started with Candace Owens. Yeah. But she's well liked. She could be a dangerous. In her YouTube, she is. Yep. Make Minnesota red again. I like to see that. It's unfair for like that comment and people that are hardworking Minnesotans that want it to be red. Also, there's Democrats and a friend of mine who lives in Minnesota. He's a Democrat. But you know what he says? I said, why did you vote for this guy? People in Minnesota are very hardworking. It's a bad rap that this is going on. And they trusted their leadership. Because they trusted. They got hypnotized and thought that they were going to do well for the upper middle class people, struggling Americans. But it's unfair because like that guy, there's people that are hard workers who don't want their state and city run like what's happened in the last 3 weeks with all these riots. Let's be honest, they're riots, right? And it's a shame that they look at people. Minnesota's beautiful, just like California. Mountains, ocean, too cold to go in, right? Hiking areas, wineries, the list goes on. But the leadership destroys the city and state. Just like when Biden was running, they looked at us like we were shit. We weren't shit. We were American people, Democrat, Republicans, who wanted the president to do well, right? They were looking at us like we're idiots. So same thing with Minnesota right now. Don't worry, Minnesota. It will be red again real soon. Can't go on like that. So thank you for your comment and letting us know Minnesota red again. Arrest them all, Jason says. Alluding to the protesters, they should. I would. I wouldn't even give them a chance. I wouldn't even why are they letting them get close to the police department and ICE? Why? Arrest them. Give them all felonies. Give them all felonies. They won't do it again. Adam, once again, thank you for your donation. Appreciate you. Going back to support ICE. The fact that you said, meaning me, because they have kids, they shouldn't be deported. No, wait. They have kids, they shouldn't be deported. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. They didn't deport the father, so... hold on. Take the kid's father from their home. I'm confused. They didn't deport the father. So take the kids and the father from their home. They didn't deport the father. The father is still, on this February 2nd, is still there, still in the States. American first always. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure where you're going with that, but thank you. Absolutely, Donald. The bottom line with the 5-year-old the boy, that the Democrats and CNN make it headline news that the boy was in trouble. That's what they do. They turn things, they add things on. CNN has a habit of adding stuff at the end, getting the attention. It's all fake propaganda. It's all 99.9 of it's fake news, and it's not the same, and the party's not the same, and that's that pretty much. That's pretty much. Take the father and the boy if the dad was not a criminal. Why take the father and the boy if the dad wasn't a criminal? I thought what I read, Adam, is they had indication that the father was on a list, on the FBI list, and I still think that there was there was a situation where he was involved in something there. I think you're going to hear more about that in the upcoming hours and days on that. Why don't you like Candace Owens? She's like fake news. I mean, she does have a great YouTube channel. She's good with her audience. And I don't think I just don't like how she, what the stuff that she says, some of the stuff that she says about our president. I mean, she's entitled. She has our channel. She's entitled to say what she wants. She has a lot of energy. But no, I don't like some of the stuff that she says about our president. That I would say 95 or 96% of it's lies. ICE is wrong. Thank you for the high five fist bump. So, yeah. You need to let Trump go, man. It's over. It's far from over, my friend. What do you mean it's over? It's only beginning, okay? It's only heating up right now. What do you mean it's over? If we didn't have President Trump right now, think about this 1 second. If we didn't have, I'm hesitating because I'm trying to read some messages that say, if we didn't have President Trump this very hour, when he's the last person to go to sleep, first person to get up, and have all our borders and all, you don't hear about that. The borders are completely closed. Where would we be if we had Kamala Harris or any other Democrat president? Think about the situation we'd be. Our title is Iran. Think about, who knows we even have a country left. And if we did have a country left, think about how bad the economy would be. Do we remember on how the egg prices are at its roof? Gas prices are finally comfortable, down to below, some states down lower than, $2? I know in Vegas it's the lowest it's ever been. So it's just getting started. I think your comment was give up on Trump. I mean, I'm treating it like you were serious about it. You're probably just a young kid on here, but just think about this though. If it is a serious comment, if Trump wasn't president and we had any other Democrat or even another Republican president, I've said this before. If you're new, like Nikki Haley, you don't hear about her anymore, right? The ambassador. How seriously it would be. Certainly, if it was a Democrat right now or whatever you call it, we'd be in some serious trouble, folks. We shouldn't have been in the war. The war right now with Israel, everything would be a mess. North Korea, it'd be crazy. So, again, thank God. That's all I got to say. Literally, thank God that he's alive. So it's only going to get better with President Trump. Starch Man, thank you. Starch Manning, appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. Which way? Thank you for your donation. I mean, look, the reason I voted for Trump 3 times is simply this. Okay, and I voted for Bill Clinton. What strongly, I've been following Donald Trump for a very long time. He's a very, very smart man. Okay, and be perfectly honest with you, how he handled I mean, certainly how he handled this whole government or pandemic shutdown, which most of us agree that we probably shouldn't shut down more than a day, if not a week, and how he handled that whole situation, you know. And remember this, folks, for you guys who think that President Trump's not for the middle class, never forget this. He was the president who went back and forth with shit piece Nancy Pelosi on sending out stimulus, implementing PUA, self-employment, unemployment, we never even had unless people paid into it, and SBA loans. He treated, you want to shut down America? You want to play your little games? How are these people going to live? You know what Barack Obama gave out when he was the president for unemployment? $25. So think about it. And if you think that President Trump only cares about billionaires, remember Elon Musk? He got on his bad side. You want to leave? Goodbye. Thank you for your support. By the way, Elon is back, right? So I think your question was, Trump, look, who else could you possibly trust with America right now? Who? You know, people were done with the Bushes. People were done with the Clintons, right? They were certainly done with Barack Obama. I still think he's the worst president ever. Because we all know he had ties with, and if you think he didn't with Biden, he did. The worst. He got us into all this mess. He got us into this war, the war with Ukraine, Russia, tearing economy. Obamacare was the worst ever. I tried it. It was horrible. He got us in, just ruined it. Oh, he was a smooth talker, good salesperson. He was great in the universities. He was good on, you got to give him that. He was good on he was the worst. Still is the worst. Should arrest him too. Not Trump, but you can't name a single Democrat that would have a clue. No, you can't. I just said that. You can't. There's not one. I've said this 20 minutes ago. If they're out there, you're never going to hear of them because it's become a cult. They don't have a clue. I mean, how many times I got to say it? They don't care about struggling Americans. They don't care about any Americans. In fact, I'll go a little farther. They don't even care about the illegal aliens. They don't. You think they do. They don't care. They're just using them so they can win on the votes and have more than 50% and keep their make-believe agenda to shut down again. That's what their goal is, to shut down America, run us. Take control of us. When to work, when not to work, what doctor to use. It's all what it's for. That's what they want, majority of them. That's it in a nutshell, guys. I mean, we can go on and on, but we won't. That's it. They don't care. They really don't. I think the last Democrat that cared, or a little bit cared, about America was, you have to say Bill Clinton, whether you liked him or not. He was probably the only one he was the last of the hurrah. I've said this many times on here, but for those who are new audience, President Clinton was probably the last moderate Democrat who cared about America. You know, cared about the economy. You know, not saying he was perfect and not saying he's in the same neighborhood of President Trump, but he was probably the only one that I could think of that cared a little bit. How many more can you think that really cared after him? Not many. I can't think of one. I just named a few. Al Gore, piece of shit. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, old shit. AOC, new shit. Gavin Newsom, piece of shit. And the list continues. Kamala was all laughs and smiles, didn't know her left hand or her right hand, who wasn't even respected from Biden when his mind was a little bit better in the first 2 days of presidency. There was rumors that she was doing her nails, drinking Starbucks coffee, didn't even care about the situation. Folks, I waste my energy. The worst. Now, we got some Republicans out there who don't care either, let's be honest, right? But Trump changed that. You're either with him or you're out too. We've seen it. You know, you're either with him, support him, come up with some ideas that are going to help Americans struggling and keeping war, peace. Either you're with him or come up with something or you're out. And that's that. That's a president. That's a leader. Love him or hate him or don't understand him, that's who he is and will continue to be. And once again, I think he's changing America for the best. For the best. Thank you, Palin. I appreciate you. Appreciate the donations. Thank you for all your support. I'll read a few more comments here. Some people think he's the worst. Some people think change his diaper. Kind of funny. Kind of funny, but not funny.
Out the buildup of U.S. forces in the Middle East. He said this in Florida at Mar-a-Lago.
Later today said that U.S. attack could spark.
Here's our president.
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course you're going to say that, but we have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
All right, a lot to cover on this. Dan Hoffman's the man to do it, former CIA station chief, Fox News contributor. Dan, good morning to you, and thank you.
All joking aside, doesn't that sound like a president? You remember Biden talk? I mean, you really could. I feel for him. I wish him the best with his health. I truly mean that. A lot of people don't believe that, but I do. It was a complete joke. It was embarrassing to him being the president of the United States, or any other. You see how he dressed that? You know how a leader should. We'll work something out, or bad things will happen. That's it. Bad things will happen. Take it or leave it. Let's see here. Somebody said, turn the bullshit off. Turn the bullshit off. Get it off. We don't want to hear it. We're tired of losing. Ozzy. We're tired of it. We want our party to win. Why can't we win? Why can't we have somebody like who has balls, who fights for the United States of America? Why can't we have something like that? That's what you got from the little people, a.k.a. trolls, on here and other channels. That's what they're thinking. You want me to tell you what they're really thinking, these people who says put a diaper on them and turn it off? They're jealous. They're sad. They can't understand. All that together and much more. With other words. I mean, let's be honest. When you see them on these live streams, not just this live stream, whatever YouTube channels you support, you get it. You see it all the time. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You know, I get it. You know, some people in their 60s and 70s are going to be Democrats their whole life. I get it. But I guarantee they're sad. They're sad. They want their party. Well, it's not about the party. They want to see somebody that's sort of like Trump. And, you know, Gavin Newsom tries to act like Trump, like tough. You can't try to be tough. Trump is who he is. You know? And other countries fear him. Maduro, he thought that Trump was like, he's fucking kidding. He's not gonna. He said, come get me. Come get me and my wife in our bed while we're having some fun, you know. Making poison, I meant to say, right? Come get me, he says. Well, guess what? You got your wish, Maduro. We got you. You went from nice weather to cold weather instantly in New York. You won't see him or his wife anymore. I heard his wife was worse. What I'm hearing from reports that his wife was worse than Maduro. They were like a perfect, oh man. Got rid of them. Oh, hold on. Somebody is 72 years young and voted for Trump, not one time, not two times, but 3 times Elon. There you go. 72 years young. 3 times. Voted for Trump. You know why? I'll say what he's thinking. Make America great. Make American common sense. Protect our borders. A better economy for all the people. Not perfect, but pretty close. Am I right? Oh, did I mention men don't belong in the women's sports? Come on. How the hell can we have that happen? What the hell were they thinking? Huh? Crazy. But thank you. There's somebody there who's 72. Young. Like me. What's that? Trump lost what? His messages are flying in here, folks. Let me see here. Trump lost the 2020 election and continues to lie daily. Mr. Jess Danson. Love the name of the YouTube, though. I got to say that, but disagree. Mr. Jess Danson. Danson, the dancing machine. Once again, Trump's the president. Got to get over it, and we'll continue to win the House and the Senate. It's not about a game. It's not about Trump. It's never about Trump. It's not about Clinton's, Barack Obama, Biden, Kamala. You're fired. Get the hell out. It's about us. And the people, when they go to vote, the first thing they think about is, number one, how safe we are for our families, for us, our kids, our grandkids. Number two, they check their wallets. They check their wallets, and the women check their purse. They check their bank account. And then they vote. And the rest is history. And it's going to be like that for a while. For a while. 600,000 jobs in Minnesota streets. Thanks for your comments, Ozzy. It's true, so true. Those people, there's no doubt in my mind that those agitators they're getting paid. They're getting paid. Come on. Who the hell do they think they're fooling? Still out there on the streets in this hour, in the cold, in the morning. Majority are young. We've seen a few elderly, not many. How much they're getting paid, who the hell knows? You know? Who knows? Don Lemon might be paying them. That piece of shit. He's in some deep trouble. I don't think he realized on what kind of trouble he's in, Don Lemon. I don't think he realizes how much trouble he's in. What's wrong with Coca-Cola? You said Pepsi. What's wrong with Coca-Cola? You got to have some laughs, guys. If you can't laugh, you can't go on. Some people probably didn't wonder what the hell I'm talking about. Responding to a funny comment. Herschel Walker played on the Eagles. It's a shame. He should have won that. He should have won that in Georgia. I like Herschel Walker. He's a good man. You know, I don't know if you know this. Speaking of gay, you know his son is gay, and his son took he's a smart man. I would support him. I would support Herschel Walker. Well, I think we lost the internet for a second. I was saying about Herschel Walker. He's a good man. I would support him. I would vote for him for president. It was stolen. His seat was stolen. He's a good man. Herschel Walker we were talking about. And then the internet went in and out. All right. Once again, thank you for all the likes on today's live stream. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. If you're new, like and subscribe. At the end of the day, we have plenty of short videos. We help out the homeless people struggling in the Las Vegas metropolitan streets. Once again, We're at the end of this live stream. All eyes are on Iran. It's not an easy situation. We're fortunate and blessed that we have President Trump as president. Tough to be president in circumstances. 47 years of threats from Iran threatening the United States and Israel, and it's very tough. There's a lot of protesters. A few weeks ago, losing their lives. I talked to a lot of Persian people here in Las Vegas, where I live, and it's sad. They just recently talked to their families, mothers and fathers and sisters, and good people, and they want President Trump's help, but it's just, not an easy situation. Very complex situation, but there's talks that Trump might have, I think he does have more ships out there in the Caribbean, and he might go in and send a message, because he doesn't want any more threats or any talk from the regime, and we'll see on that how that unfolds. I'm not too worried about it. Not too worried about it. Strong like a bull. That's Trump. Absolutely. All right, guess what? I'll read a few more. What time is it? I'll go ahead and read a few more comments here. Because my boss just gave me a look. My boss. We know who the boss is. So that when I get that look, that means time's running out. I do appreciate everybody coming in here. Hopefully everybody has those who work have a great work week. For those who are off, enjoy your day off. Big Super Bowl coming up this Sunday. Right back to you, Palon. Appreciate your attendance on here. $40-something. Go Trump. What was that about? No, it's all about Christopher Columbus. He's the best. He's the best. Thank you, Trump. Bringing back Christopher Columbus. Once again, Adam, thank you for your donation tonight and your comments. Interesting comments. Appreciate it. I appreciate all those who supported today's live stream, Whiskey Tango, and our moderators who are being here, Crystal and Mike and Maribel and Richard. And if I missed any moderators, I apologize. Thank you, all new subscribers. Once again, appreciate all your love and support. We got 176 likes. It does help out. It's a very small YouTube channel here, but we thank you as we continue to grow here as a community. So thank you so much. Make sure you check out our short videos on homeless, because I don't ask them if they're Democrat, Republican, or who they are or where they're from. We help them out. They're struggling people, because that's what America does. That's what Democrats and Republicans and all of us should be doing, is helping out American people struggling. And that goes for anybody struggling. As my dog is taking a leak to my right, we won't show that tonight. Mac says, nope, don't embarrass me. Yep.
It's almost 50th.
Wow, I can't believe it. Time flies. It's Valentine's Day in 12 days.
My birthday's on the 10th.
Birthday's on the 10th. Crazy. Birthdays, Valentine's Day. Forget about it.
The Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. All in 1 month, my family. Birthdays, Valentine's Day, and Super Bowl. Let's hope I win some prop bets in the Super Bowl. Hey, guys, enjoy the rest of whatever's left on your Monday. Some places it's Tuesday. Thank you all so much. It's that time of the night when I'm mumbling along and looking at the dog take a pee. Thank you so much. I love you all. Stay true to who you are. Most important, spend time with your family, guys. Spend time with your family. Don't let politics ever interfere with family or close friends. It's not worth it. Do it on the live and get over it. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. I'm out. Bye-bye. Yeah, another doggy outside. The dogs are out. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. See you. Thank you, Adam. Take care, guys. Ciao. Who let those dogs out? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good night. No problem, Adam. Take care, guys. Have a good night. God bless.